Back on the record in Antee. Sorry, you're still under oath.
Mr. Antee, how do you want me to refer to you? Bobby, Mr. Antee?
Bobby is fine.
Bobby?
Yep.
That's good. So, because of how we're going to do the question today, I'm going to be kind of covering some things maybe you've covered a little bit, but trying to get a little more information, and then some items that regarding the testimony you've given so far. So you met, you began living, you stated living with Lindsay the day, was it the day Aiden passed away?
The day Aiden passed away, we just decided that she didn't need to be alone. She needed as much support as possible. So I pretty much we decided that, I was going to stay there until further notice, or just until, and then we ended up deciding to, become an item.
Okay, so at that time you were not a romantic item?
No, we weren't.
Okay. Let's talk about you stated that you did receive $26,000 in cash.
Yes.
From Lindsay. That's correct?
Correct.
You also stated earlier that the Goldman Sachs account is where you would deposit the money to save because it earned a higher interest rate. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that what you told Lindsay you were going to put the money?
Correct.
Okay. Did you put all of the $26,000 into the Goldman Sachs account?
Correct.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Let's turn to Exhibit J in your, just a smaller thing here. Well, let's do this. Let's go Exhibit K. Sorry, the next one over. And if you, this is your the first page here, bait stamp Antee 0001. You see that one? The bottom, very, very bottom, a little, it's kind of hard to see.
Yes.
Okay, so in the top here it says September 2017, September 1st, 2017 to September 30th, 2017. This Goldman Sachs GS Bank. Is this your bank statement?
Yes.
Okay. And the ending balance there is what?
$12,127.
Okay. That's the beginning balance, correct?
The beginning balance of 901. Yes.
What's the ending balance? The ending balance.
By the end of the month.
Yeah.
The end of the month it says $13,084.92.
Okay. So let's turn a couple pages over here. Let's turn to Antee 00003. It's a couple pages over. This would be the November 1st, 2017 to November 30th, 2017, correct? You see that at the top?
Which page is it?
It's at the bottom. It's Antee 00003. It's 5 years. Couple pages over.
Okay. November 1st.
Okay. Yes. If you go down to account activity, here, well, first of all, beginning balance. What does the beginning balance there say?
November 1st, $13,461.37.
Okay, pretty close to what you ended at in the end of September. Pretty close, a couple $100, right?
Correct.
So not much happened in October, it looks like. go down to the ending, what's the ending balance there?
Ending balance of November is $28,731.24.
Okay. And go down to the account activity here. On November 20th, it shows you made a deposit from a Bank of America account, is that correct?
Correct.
And what's the amount of that?
$15,000.
Okay. So, the money that you received in cash, was it directly deposited into the Goldman Sachs account, or did you deposit?
Goldman Sachs is a strictly online banking account, so you would have to wire from a traditional bank account like Bank of America or Wells Fargo, and then you'd have to wire it to that account.
Okay.
There's no debit card or credit card associated. It's strictly online, and I believe that's why it yields a higher interest rate because of that.
Okay. Okay. So, so to see, you couldn't deposit the money directly to the Goldman Sachs account as your testimony.
Right. We went to Bank of America with the cash. I put it in the Bank of America first, and then I did the transfer to the savings account.
Okay. So let's go back to J. Exhibit J, it's the next tab back. And if we look at, it's a couple pages in, Antee 000, it's hard to read, I believe it's 464 at the very bottom. And that would be the bank statement, which is ending November 27th.
Correct.
Can I get the page number on that, counsel?
Well, the bait stamp?
Or the bait stamp, yeah.
My eyes are really bad, but it looks like Antee 0000464.
Okay, thank you.
I can't find it.
So,
I can't find it.
Exhibit J, there's exhibit, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages over, page 7 of 8. Okay. So, if you look down here in the activity, it looks like November 17th.
Correct.
Looks like there was a counter credit. Okay, and what was the amount there?
$15,200.
Okay, and then if we go down a little bit farther, on the 21st, that's under the subtractions column, you moved, is that where you moved the 15,000 to Goldman Sachs?
From the Bank of America, transferred it into the Goldman Sachs.
Okay, well that accounts for $15,000, correct?
Correct.
What about the other $10,000? Was that deposit, you just stated it all went to Bank of America and to Goldman Sachs?
No, there's a separate deposit from One Nevada. So I have a One Nevada checking account too. So I took the other remaining money from One Nevada and I just did the same thing. So I deposited the money in One Nevada and then I transferred it over into the Goldman Sachs from there.
When did you do that?
It was around the same time.
It was around
I
the
just
same
didn't put everything in that bank. We split it up.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's look, now, earlier, we had testimony from Linda, if you recall, regarding the gift letters that were drafted, and I wanted to turn to those. I think our exhibit 18, so if you open the big binder, there, it's probably the easiest way to get these gift letters that were used. Exhibit 18, and we're going to look at plaintiffs 490. Well, which is a few pages in there. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. This appears to be is it called a letter of explanation? Is that what you would call it? If you want to read the top sentence there, what does that say?
Provide an explanation for the following deposits and source in Bank of America accounts.
Okay. And here, on the very bottom, it said that there was, on November 20th there, what does that say there?
Deposit of $15,200 in Bank of America.
Okay. And so that, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this is your testimony then as to receiving the $15,000 in deposit in your Bank of America account.
Correct.
Okay, let's turn one page back over here. On plaintiff's 0489. And is this another letter of explanation here?
Yes.
Which bank account is this for?
Which one? This has to be either Bank of America or One Nevada.
One Nevada.
Yes.
Okay. And if you go down to November 17th, very bottom here.
That was the money that went, I'm almost positive, to One Nevada. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want you to go up one line above that. The December 14, 2017. What does that say?
Deposit of $3,000 in checking.
Okay. So, did you receive $3,000 from Lindsay then, from the earnest money check?
It says it was deposited into the checking account
Into your checking account?
for the earnest money purposes.
Okay. And this was in the One Nevada account?
I believe so. If this is, it doesn't say on here. I'm not sure. It's either One Nevada or Bank of America.
It says
Yeah, it says One Nevada at the top,
at the
correct?
very top.
Okay, yeah, One Nevada. Yeah, got it.
Did you pay the $3,000 for the earnest money deposit in the transaction?
We had to give them earnest money, so yeah, we had to pay
Did you
it.
pay it out of your One Nevada account?
I know we have to make a payment for earnest money.
Right. Do you recall, did Linda send a group text that said that the money had to come from Lindsay's account to directly to the escrow company? Do you recall that?
Can you show me? Because maybe it will wake up my memory.
Sure. If we turn to Exhibit 6, back to Plaintiff's Exhibit 6. We're going to go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 79. PLPF 0007.
See 0079?
Correct.
Thank you.
I believe, Your Honor, we've agreed that this is admitted into evidence, correct? This Exhibit 6, we finally have that agreement? I can't
Up the
remember.
whole Exhibit 6? No.
Okay.
In this case,
Do you recall this?
I'm not sure. But in this case, the earnest money would have to come from the Chase account,
Okay.
because the Chase account was the money used for the down payment.
So you recall that Lindsay had to pay $3,000 out of her account then for the earnest money deposit?
And that's what this is saying, basically.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
That's what it's saying.
What's the question, Your
Do,
Honor?
do,
Can you repeat the question, please?
do you recall, does this refresh your recollection of the request request from Linda that the earnest money would have to come from Lindsay's account.
Yeah, that's what this is saying. Do I recall it? I'm not clear on it.
Did you pay the $3,000 earnest money deposit out of your Nevada One account?
I'm not clear on it, because it's saying, even saying here that it would have to come from the money that was gonna be used for the down payment. So it possibly could have came from the Chase account.
Okay. Have you submitted any of your Nevada One bank statements in this case?
Yes,
You have.
I believe, yeah, I had to submit everything.
All of your bank statements from this period of time, November, all the way till,
Whatever is asked
present.
of me, yes.
okay? I'm sorry, One Nevada, is it One Nevada?
One
You've
Nevada,
submitted all of your One Nevada bank statements to your council from November 2017 until the present,
no problem.
okay? Are you aware that we haven't received any of those?
Objection, Your Honor, counsel's testifying.
Okay.
One Nevada is simply
There's
where
no
my,
question.
Let's turn back to our explanation letters back here. To plans 489, exhibit 18 here. You stated here, again, that you received on November 17th, the deposits of 5, 5, and 900, it looks like, from Lindsay in cash, and deposited into your One Nevada account.
correct.
Did you then transfer those funds from your One Nevada account to the Goldman Sachs account?
Correct,
Okay. Do you have any documentation to show that?
yeah, we should,
Did you give that documentation to your attorney?
it should have it. The Goldman Sachs account was part of the discovery, so,
Okay. So you gave all your Goldman Sachs accounts from December 2017 to the present to your attorney's your testimony?
should have it, yeah.
Okay. What was your understanding that if the deposits that you received in cash, they were to be deposited into the Goldman Sachs account, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Were you married to Lindsay when you received these cash, amounts of cash to be deposited into your account?
Says November 17th. We weren't married until November 25th.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we weren't married at the time.
So, was there any instructions to you at the time? You deposited in the Goldman Sachs
No.
account? No.
We were moving forward together, so we just put it in there for savings. It was supposed to be for savings, but then
You felt that you could spend the money on whatever you wanted?
not at all. It was supposed to be for savings, cause that Goldman Sachs account was an account I've never made a withdrawal from. Everything was in there, was only money going in, nothing had ever came out. But then when we got married, we accumulated all the bills, and I asked her, how would we pay? How do you wanna pay? She said, use the money that I gave you.
Do you have anything from her in a text or something that gave you that authorization to spend the money in that way?
Well, American Express, you have to pay in full monthly. So if you have a $10,000 balance, you have to pay it in full. And we went over that. We spoke to each other about that. And like she said, when we were on our honeymoon, why can't we go on these excursions? And I told her the money was spent pretty much. So. It's kind of hard for you to spend 20 grand and it go unnoticed.
Now, you stated that you gave her $3,000 in cash for the wedding. And then I guess you said another $4,000 in cash. Is that what you said that you gave?
I withdrew $3,000 in cash from Bank of America for the wedding. I guess the total was around $9,000. I gave her $3,000, and then I spent another $1,000 for the videographer. I gave him $1,000 in cash, paid him at the time of the wedding, and then the honeymoon was around $4,000+. I booked it online at Bookit.com.
Okay. Have you produced the Bank of America bank statements during this time
The
to your attorney that would show all
yes.
these cash withdrawals and expenditures?
Yes, Bank of America. Everything is on paper.
Did you produce the receipts that you spent, that you made payments in cash for the wedding? Did you produce those receipts to your counsel as well?
There would only it would definitely show a minus $3,000 on the bank statement. They would definitely show a withdrawal of $3,000 because I remember walking into the bank and doing it. So it's definitely recorded.
Okay. Did you produce, in this case, to your counsel, any of the receipts that you received from the wedding, that you paid individuals for the wedding?
I wasn't worried about nothing like that. The receipts for a wedding, I just gave her the money, and you know, I wasn't worried about getting a receipt for a wedding.
Okay. You stated that you were put on Lindsay's Chase accounts as a joint account holder around the 1st of December, is that correct?
Was listed November 26th and then December 7th for the savings.
Okay. As a joint account with no limitations?
We wouldn't, no limit, nothing was discussed like that. We wasn't in that mind frame of this is mine, this is yours. We just, you know, I thought we were moving forward as a unit.
Did you ever make any deposits into that bank account?
The Goldman Sachs?
No.
Oh, the Chase?
Yes.
No, the Chase was money that came from the money that was raised for Aiden's treatment.
Okay.
So that was solely for that, the money she was left over from people wanting to donate for Aiden.
Okay. So you never made any deposits into that account? Did
No.
you ever make any withdrawals from that account directly?
No.
But you felt you had the right to go in and make any withdrawals without talking to Lindsay first?
I never made a withdrawal from the Chase account. I was working every day, so I didn't worry about the money that was in there. But
Do you believe it was your money with Lindsay then at that time?
as a married couple, you know, my wife was spending, you know, it was open to whatever she wanted to do.
So let me ask you, let's fast forward about 5 weeks, closing time. Why did you ask Lindsay to go make the wire to close on the house? Why did she have to make the wire? Why couldn't you go make the wire?
Because she the one controlled the money in that way. She had the Chase debit card or the Chase checking card. So I went to her after the signing and gave her the wire instructions, and then she texted me like an hour and a half later saying that she had wired it.
Okay, well, let me restate the question. You testified earlier, you were a joint account holder on this account
Right, but I hadn't.
with no limitations.
Right, but married men don't make moves like that without the woman.
Well, you asked her, correct? She had to go make the wire. You didn't go make the wire. You didn't ask her if you could go make the wire, correct?
Right, I just took the instructions down to her into the office and let her look at it. You know, I just came out of the closing office, so I had did with my part, and you know, the rest is pretty much up to her.
But do you believe that you had a right to go to make that wire yourself, or did you need Lindsay to go do that wire?
No, because I wouldn't do that without her. She had to make the final decision
And why is that?
because that money was, you know, that's a lot of money for me to just to move on my own. I wanted her to make that last decision.
talk about the car, the Jaguar. Who decided that the car needed to be paid off to be able to get approved for the loan?
West Valley Mortgage?
They told you that?
Yes.
Okay. And approximately, what was the amount then that we talked about? It was like $4,000, correct? Something like
Correct.
that. Why didn't you had the funds in your account, why didn't you make the payment to pay off your car?
This decision we made. We just went and, because the money that was in my savings account was in the Goldman Sachs. I didn't have a debit card for Goldman Sachs. It's strictly online. That's the only money I had. I didn't have any other savings.
Okay.
The only savings I had was the Goldman Sachs.
Let's go to Exhibit J, which is in the small binder. And if we look at bait stamp number Antee 000472, and it's hard to read, but it's only a couple pages here before the end of the pay, I guess, maybe 4 pages. Find it?
Yes.
Okay. Under the deposits and other additions section, on December 22nd, what do you see there? Online banking transfer?
That was basically to pay for the American Express.
Where did that money come from that you transferred into your Bank of America account?
It came from the Goldman Sachs. I had to wire it back to Bank of America so I could pay the American Express card.
Okay. So you can, correct, pay for things by wiring the money, but you did
That
here.
was part of the Goldman Sachs though. The Chase account was a different account. The Goldman Sachs had that money that I was supposed to be for savings, but I wired it back into the Bank of America so I could make that monthly debt that had to be paid.
I understand. Your testimony a few minutes ago was that you couldn't pay the car because the money was in the Goldman Sachs account. There's no way to make the payment.
Where it says that you pay the car or whatever, the money is coming from the down payment, which is Chase.
I understand. You just testified that when I asked you why didn't you use your own money to pay off the car, you said because the money was in the Goldman Sachs account and you couldn't use that to pay off the car. Now, I just showed you in your bank statements how you easily will transfer money from Goldman Sachs back to your Bank of America account so you can pay for things, correct? So you could have paid for the car doing that method if you wanted to, is that correct?
I gotta see what I got going on tomorrow.
Goldman Sachs was strictly supposed to be for savings. The money that was used to pay off the
So
car
you weren't
was supposed to
touch
be
that
initially that was the plan.
When
But
you
then
were given the money in November, was that the plan?
excuse me?
When you were given the money in November, was that the plan?
Initially that was supposed to be our nest egg. Yes.
Before you were married, that was your nest egg.
That was supposed to be our nest egg.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's turn to AA in your binder here, the small binder. And it's the very first page here, page stamp Antee 935.
Excuse me, A.
AA.
Looks like it's just an A, one A.
Oh, keep going. Keep going, all the way back, all the way back. It's after A, Z, it starts over as AA.
Okay.
And what is this document here?
Loan application.
Okay, and the date of this document at the very top here next to a signature, do you see the date there, this document? What is the date?
12/13/2017.
Okay, so do you recall receiving this document on the 13th?
Looks like my signature is there. I must have, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier in your testimony that you, a month before the closing, which would have been around the middle of December, that you knew you had to pay off your student loans.
Correct.
Is that correct? So, this loan application here that you received should contemplate that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor, the document speaks for itself.
So let's proceed here. If you turn to the second page of the application, okay, and you're looking, this is the assets and liability section under section 4. You see that there midway down?
Yes.
Okay. The first debt, the liability, what is that?
The liability says
Yes.
Bank of America.
Yes.
Okay.
And what is that debt?
Well, that's my car.
Okay, that's your car.
You're right.
That's $19,433, I believe.
Correct.
Do you see a negative sign in front of that in both the payment and in the debt?
That was a car monthly payment, $449 a month, I believe. I've never missed a payment on that car in three years.
It's an asterisk.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
an
not
asterisk?
It's an asterisk.
The
Yeah.
asterisk, you see the asterisk by that, sorry.
Yeah, I've never missed a payment, never been late. My credit was 730.
Okay. Do you know what the asterisk means that's next to the car there? The car debt?
That's how much is owed per month, and then the total balance.
The asterisk. You see the little asterisk before the payment?
The star?
Yeah, the star.
Yeah.
Do you know what the asterisk means?
What I'm looking at here is a monthly payment and a total payoff balance.
Okay.
Just wants to know if you know why it's
No, I don't. I don't know.
Okay. If you look right above the section there, it's really hard to read. Liabilities and pledged assets. Do you see that?
Yes.
If you go down to the last sentence there, if necessary, it says indicate by an asterisk those liabilities which will be satisfied upon sale of real estate owned or upon refinancing of the subject property. So these are debts that they're saying will be paid off. So it looks like the car, right?
Correct.
Is a debt that would have to be paid off,
Correct.
correct? What's the next trade line down?
You have the Nelnet, that's a student loan. Nelnet is a student loan.
Okay, and the next one below that,
Nelnet,
on either of those two, do you see an asterisk?
no.
No. Turn the page. Is there any more Nelnet trade lines on this page?
None.
third one down on the liabilities there, you see it? On this page, see there's Bank of America, One Nevada, and then Nelnet, another Nelnet on the next page?
Correct.
Is there an asterisk next to that one?
Nope.
Okay, let's turn the page. And then, we're gonna actually turn the page one more time, because this is a continuation page. Page 505 of the loan application is a continuation page of your debts. So if you skip a page over, you'll see continuation sheet, residential loan application. Do you find that? It's at the top?
Excuse me, which page again? The next one, right?
No, go to the next one. Yep,
Got it.
got it? Okay. What do you see here, as far as, is there any more Nelnet loans here on here, student loans?
We got the 1 Nelnet, 2 Nelnet, 3 Nelnet.
Okay, do you see any asterisks next to those?
No, I don't.
You don't. Okay, so it appears on this loan application that only the car was anticipated in being paid off at this time. Let's flip the page to BB. Are you there?
I'm there.
That's Exhibit BB. Does this look kind of like the one we just looked at? It's a little smaller, correct?
Correct.
Now, for the date of this one, we're gonna have to go a few pages back to see the date that you signed this one. No, sorry, forward, yeah, 2 pages, back into the application. Page 3 of 4, which is Antee 000933, do you see the date there, where you signed that?
122? No, 117, 18?
The 17th, correct?
Right.
Okay. So I want you to flip back one page from there, and we're gonna look at that. So this application you received, it was basically right before closing on the 17th, is that correct?
I don't remember doing the application at that time. Everything was, I just did everything in closing on that day, and then that was it. I don't. The applications process that would have had already been cleared to my knowledge.
Okay. Did you sign? Is that your signature? If you turn the page there, is that your signature dated the 17th of January?
Looks like it.
Okay.
Looks like one of them.
Okay. Let's look at the assets and liability section here. How about we looked at in the last one? You see the Bank of America, the car's on there, right?
Correct.
Okay. And that shows those have parentheses around them.
Okay.
No longer an asterisk.
449 for 45 months.
At this point in time, you had already paid off the car, correct?
Yeah, car was been gone.
Been gone, right?
Right.
Let's look down a little bit. You see the Nelnet there, next one, the Nelnet loan?
Yes.
And then the one below that?
Yes.
Do you see an asterisk next to those now?
To the next two, yes. Yeah, I see that.
Okay. And if we look down a little below that, there's another one, correct? It looks like $1,371.30. Do you see that Nelnet student loan with an asterisk next to it?
Yes.
And if we go back up and look at the little section, which you can't read here, it's really hard to read, but from the last application, you can see that the asterisk meant that it would be paid off, correct?
I guess that's a requirement if you need to get rid of that liability.
Okay. So, the month before the closing, your testimony is that you knew you had to pay off these student loans.
Correct.
The loan application that we just showed you that you signed did not show that, correct? That was dated December 13th.
I knew they were communication. They told me the student loans had to be paid off.
And the next question would be is, whose student loans were they?
They were mine.
They were yours.
Yes.
Why didn't you pay off your own student loans?
Well, I was paying them monthly, on time per month, every month. I never missed a payment with my student loans. When we decided to purchase a house and get married, that had to be paid in full. We were doing this as a married couple. My wife came in with a lump sum of money, so we acted as a married couple, and that's how we moved at that point.
Okay.
So the money that I had in the Goldman Sachs was her and our money at that time.
Okay. Did you pay for these student loans with the Goldman Sachs money?
It just got paid. It got paid with the Chase account, I believe.
How did it get paid?
It got gifted.
Is there a gift letter that says that?
It's included with the closing, which is stated by the mortgage company.
Okay.
It stated that the 2 credit cards and the student loan will be paid off in closing. That will be added to the down payment.
Okay.
That's a part of the down, was paying the student loan off and the 2 credit cards.
Let's go to Exhibit R. Let's turn to page 906, Antee 906. This was the closing disclosure that your attorney referenced earlier in testimony. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the very bottom of this, there's a stamp on there. What does that say?
Final?
Final, okay. Now, look at the adjustments there. Payoffs. It's in the borrower's transaction section. If you look down there, adjustments, it says payoffs. You see it on the left side in the middle?
Yes.
And what is the amount?
It's the student
Objection, Your
loan.
Honor, asked and answered.
The 8,000. 8,374.03.
Is there any way, by looking at this document, for anybody to know what that payoff was for?
Yeah, when we knew that only certain things had to be paid off. 4 for the car, 8 for the student loan, and 3 for the credit card.
Question
So it
was, by looking at this document.
It's not. It says payoffs. It's not listed as to what, but that's what it would be for.
But there's no way to know what that was for by looking at the document itself, correct?
Objection, Your
It
Honor,
doesn't-
calls for speculation
It
for somebody
doesn't.
who wouldn't know what the document was for and what the payoffs were.
And there's
Is there anything
and there's an
related to the,
objection, you need to stop. Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay, sustained.
Is there any identification next to the word payoffs for what that payoff would be for?
Well, it says due from borrower at closing, adjustments, payoffs, $8,000 in payoffs, due from borrower at closing. So that means there's going to have to be another payment to be made in order to close on the house.
Does it say student loan there?
Objection, Your Honor, the document speaks for itself.
Sustained.
talk about the closing day again. Turn to section H of the small binder.
H.
Yeah. The letter of agreement, correct? Is that what you're looking at?
Correct.
Okay, so the day of closing, you stated earlier that you received a communication from Lindsay that she wanted you to sign this, an agreement,
Correct. Out of the blue.
okay? And this was before you closed.
This was while I was sitting at closing. I got a text because I was communicating with her. Why are you down here? She said, check your mail. I'll check my mail, and then this is what pops up.
It was your testimony that this was the document that you received.
There was I saw two, but
Oh,
I
you did?
signed.
You
I
did?
saw one.
Okay, there was two then?
There was I signed first one. Yeah.
Okay. Did you read this document before you signed it?
Yeah, I read it.
And what did you understand that this document represented?
I'm thinking I just got married. We're buying our first house, and I'm reading now a divorce contract. I was like, I was dazed a little bit. You know, I'm thinking now, does she even really trust me? Like, what am I getting myself into?
What did she ask you for in
She
this
said,
document?
just sign it if you need. There's a text. She said, just sign it if you're not trying to take nothing from me. And
What
then
does-
she texted me, you didn't sign the updated one,
Okay,
which is sitting in my phone right now in our thread.
okay. So you signed this one, and when you read it, let's go to here, topic of agreement, right in the middle there. Okay. What is that sentence there? There's only two lines in your document here. It says Lindsay Antee and Bobby D. Antee are in agreement of the following with regards to. What does that say there?
If divorce takes place, $75,000 is returned to Lindsay Antee, and the remaining equity will be split
Okay.
50-50.
Do you recall reading that at that time?
Yeah. Yep.
So Lindsay's telling you in this document, if you get divorced, she wants you to agree that she's gonna get $75,000 returned to her, and then you can split the equity 50-50. Is that correct?
Correct. I never asked for a divorce. She did.
I understand.
She asked for a divorce the next day. Was I supposed to come up with $75,000 the next day?
Well, did you sign this document? This one?
I did the DocuSign and sent it back.
All right. So, okay. Let's see here. After you closed, Lindsay didn't move in with you the next day.
We packed up everything, got a U-Haul, got everything out of the apartment. I got everything from Aiden's storage. We got in an argument about Aiden's storage and us about not having room. He had a humongous storage full of his clothes and all his belongings. So I asked her to come down to the storage unit and pick out what's important, what she would want to come to the house. she got mad and said, no, just bring everything. And there was a prior in the evening, we were talking about a cancer family staying with us. I didn't want that to happen because we just moved in the new home. And so she told me, she told me to move back in with my mom. She said, move in with your mom. And I was like, what do you mean? I just signed for a house and we're married. We just got, I'm not doing that. I'm moving into the house.
You stated earlier that the next day she asked you for a divorce after closing.
Correct.
Why did she ask you for a divorce the next day?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
Sustained.
We just got into an argument, so.
There's no question pending, sir.
All right. You discussed this cancer family moving in, then right after closing. What you said earlier. When did this cancer family actually end up moving in?
I didn't agree to it, so they never came.
Okay. You stated that you gave $5,000 to the foundation from your Bank of America credit card. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor, misstates testimony.
Sustained.
Does it? I think that you stated earlier in your testimony that you gave Lindsay $5,000. Is that correct?
Lindsay had my Bank of America account number, so she charged $5,000 for supplies and things for the spring event, which is all on the statements. It says Agents of the Army, Angels everywhere on it. $5,000 she charged for the items, whatever she needed for the foundation, she charged it on there.
Have you produced the Bank of America credit card statements
Yes.
to your attorney?
Yes,
All of them from November 2017 until?
everything.
Let's see here. Okay. You spoke earlier about paying bills in July after you moved out, utility bills. In fact, we turned to Exhibit U in the small binder, if you want to turn to Exhibit U. And you went through these payments, each one. Do you recall that?
The HOA fees,
Yeah.
the HOA payments I had made, yeah.
Okay. Just a question I have is, were these payments were all made in July, correct?
There's one in July, two in July, one on the 3rd and one on the 9th.
Okay, 2 in July, I'm sorry, correct. Were you paying HOA payments from arrears that you owed, or were you paying
It
forward?
seems to be on the July 9th, I made a payment for $166, so I have to have owed at that point.
And you stated earlier you paid a water bill, I believe, too.
Objection, misstates testimony.
What other bills did you pay in July?
Well, I cut the power off and gave the impression that we were putting the house back on the market, so I wanted to try to slice bills down. The HOA, I know the HOA and the mortgage had to be paid, definitely. And I ended up paying the sewage and water, the sewage bill There was a back payment on that I had to pay.
Utility bills paid in July would have been for services received prior to that. Is that correct? When you were in the home?
Correct.
Okay. I have one more question here I want to ask you. When you were on your honeymoon in Cancun,
Cancun.
you stated that there was well, you stated earlier in your testimony that that's when you told Lindsay there was no more money. Is that correct?
Well, pretty much we had spent at least 20-some thousand at that point.
Okay. Did she ask you to see any of your documentation or bank statements at all?
I didn't. If she did, I just told her. I verbally told her the money's getting drained out. I never showed her.
You never showed her any
No, I didn't.
Goldman Sachs account?
The Goldman Sachs she seen initially. Yeah, I showed her initially what I had in my account.
But not after you were married?
There's statements showing that the money was put in there. I'm pretty sure. I produced them.
That's not the question. That's not the question. Listen to the question, answer the question.
I'm not 100% sure if I showed her.
Did you ever show her your Bank of America statements?
If I did show her, I could show her just on my phone, like look at the money is sitting in the account. But I didn't print nothing out. I could just show her from the online, just show her online like everything's there.
Okay. Let's turn to Exhibit 6 on the big binder. It's going to be Plaintiff's 157. This is like a text message received. Do you recall receiving this text message? Or, I don't have a date on the top.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object. I believe this issue came up with this text message in Miss Antee's testimony as well, and it was attempted to be submitted.
Just using it
It
for
was not
Gretchen's
put in.
recollection if she ever asked him for any of his accounts.
I understand, but it's also you're asking questions about something that hasn't been submitted to evidence.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Was it admitted?
157 was admitted.
I withdraw then. Apologies.
Do you recall receiving this communication in text with Lindsay?
Looks like a conversation, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Third text down, this would be what you texted her, correct? You're on the left side, she's on the right side.
I need
correct?
help. Maybe you talking about the I need help state?
Yeah.
Yeah, I take this. It has to be me, yeah, on the left.
Okay. You stated that.